Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Planted Carly Flower. I'm Carly, and today we're going to start a series talking about how I'm saving this Hoya Serpens. So sit back, relax, and get ready to hear all about it. Okay guys, today is February 27th, 2021, and I received this package in the mail. It did arrive a day late, but I wasn't too worried about it. My temperatures here in Albuquerque, New Mexico have been in the 50s and 60s, so I'm not too concerned about cold damage or anything like that. And spoiler alert, this isn't an unboxing, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this is what I thought was a 2-leaf cutting of Hoya Serpens. Now, I want to preface this by saying this is not the seller's fault. Hoya Serpens are notorious for not traveling well. I expected that this could happen when I ordered the plant, and the seller did make this right. She is going to send me another cutting as soon as her mother plant grows a little bit more. I know her fairly well, so I'm not really worried that I'm not going to get my money's worth out of this. I've purchased from her a couple times, and all the plants I've gotten from her have done really well. So this is by no fault of the seller. I just want to make sure that that's clear before we continue. So, as you can see, the bag was taped into the box. It was very secure. It's got polyfill all around it, but I can see in the bag already that the leaves are not attached to the plant. I knew at this point that it was not the best situation. I did not expect it to be as bad as it was, though. Yeah, there's actually nothing attached to the stems. There was 2 stems. The seller was actually super generous and sent me 2 stems with leaves instead of just the 1 2-leaf cutting that I had originally ordered. So again, the seller, no fault of the seller. Not only was she super generous, but she did everything she could to make sure that this arrived in good condition. And this is just the nature of shipping plants. It does happen sometimes, and things don't always go the best. You just have to roll with the punches and make the best out of it. So, unfortunately, I'm looking for the stems here, and I could only find 1 intact stem right there, and it wasn't even completely intact. You can see it there in my hand. It did have a little tiny leaf on it, but as soon as I tried to pull it out of the moss, it literally just fell apart. I did cut off as much of the mush off that stem as I could, and I went ahead and put that stem in some moss as well. You can see me picking up 1 leaf there that did have a little bit of a stem and what looks to be a node attached to it as well. And I'm going to go ahead and assess the damage here. 2 leaves are just leaves. There's nothing I can do about those. They're just going to unfortunately die. The 1 stem there that looks like it's attached to the leaf on the left is just a stem. And then I have the leaf on the right with the bit of stem that is attached. So I took a little break, thought about it for a little while. And I decided I was going to wet some moss, which I did. And you can see me putting it in a 2.5-inch little pot there. And I'm going to stick the leaf with the stem attached in there and bury the stem. And I'm going to take this other stem that's, yeah, you can see it just slides right apart. It's mush. It's not the best, but for the sake of how much I paid for this plant and how much I really want a Serpens, I decided it can't hurt. I stuck that stick in there anyway, even though I'm pretty sure it's a goner. But we're going to go ahead and try and save it. I will make updates letting you know how this plant is doing, and we will go through this process together. I'm going to take this cutting in the moss, and I'm going to put it on the heat mat in my Mills bow, which routinely stays between 85 and 90% humidity. And just we're going to see how it does. So here you go. That's it. There's a little stem I'm pointing at. You can kind of see it there. And then the leaf. We're going to put that in the Mills bow, and we're going to start this process and see what we can get done with it. Thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned for more updates.